Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions.
Namaste y bienvenidos, amados poderosos compañeros.
Thank you for joining us in devotion to truth.
Gracias por unirse a la devoción a la verdad.
The happiest place on earth is finding out that everything Jesus says in A Course in Miracles is true.
El lugar más feliz es donde encontramos que todo lo que dice Jesús en el curso es verdad.
I remember when I first read the Course, it was like with very much mixed emotions.
Y recuerdo cuando yo leí por primera vez el curso, hubo un mix de emociones.
You know, I gotta pin myself here. So yeah, you know, it seemed like something was right about it. But it's like, this is true. There's something true about this.
Pero sentía que había algo de cierto, de verdad en esto.
But I think I'm asking Jesus, there's another part of me who was screaming, no, no.
Y estoy preguntando, ¿saben en qué?
There's another part of me screaming, no.
Y había otra parte de mí que estaba gritando, no.
So this is the expression of mixed desires, a desire to know God.
Pero esta es el reflejo de la mezcla de deseos, un deseo de conocer a Dios,
To know the truth of identity,
de conocer la verdad de nuestra identidad,
but somehow hide from identity. That's the whole play of consciousness.
pero de alguna manera también de huir y ese es el juego de la conciencia.
So, but somehow I could see that whatever I was doing in the world, it just isn't working. You know, there was something not working about it. I was kind of hoping it wasn't true, all the pain and the suffering.
Pero me daba cuenta que había una parte que no estaba funcionando, que sentía que no estaba funcionando, que el dolor y el sufrimiento no podían ser.
And to be brought with Jesus, to keep looking and having that determination to see, I see how important that is.
Y venir con Jesús y mirarla, lo que es verdad, esto es lo más importante.
To really have that hunger to know the truth of identity. What is the truth? What did God make?
Y ver en verdad qué es lo que Dios ha hecho, cuál es la verdad.
And like the more I've done the course, it's like the more brilliant I recognize Jesus' plan is to support us in this journey to see the truth and honor the truth of what we are.
Y entre más miro y entiendo el curso, lo estudio, veo cuánto ha hecho Jesús cuán maravilloso es su plan, el plan de Jesús para la expresión.
So of course, the part of his plan is for us to actually do the lessons, spend the time to do the lessons in the workbook.
Y parte del plan de él es que hagamos las lecciones de la parte del curso.
And this is very early in the course, lesson 44, where he starts talking about contemplating light.
Y temprano en las lecciones él comienza a hablar en la lección 44 de contemplar la luz.
Contemplating light is very valuable on the spiritual journey.
Entonces contemplar la luz es muy valioso en la jornada, la jornada espiritual.
And many spiritual teachers talk about the value, like Muji talks about it.
Y hay muchos maestros que hablan de esto, como Muji, que habla de la contemplación.
You know, he calls it the invitation to freedom, to notice what's here before time.
Es una invitación a la libertad, de ver qué hay antes de que hubiese habido el tiempo.
The recognition of light is very simple, actually.
El reconocimiento de la luz es en verdad muy simple.
In A Course in Miracles, this is the holy instant.
En el curso de milagros, esto es el instante santo.
Because it only takes an instant and there's no effort to it just to kind of notice that there's something here that is unchanged by time or does not know space.
Y es porque solo se requiere un instante para darnos cuenta que hay algo que no cambia, que es inmutable aquí y ahora.
And I've talked about my 7-year-old niece when we were talking about light and she saw it. She recognized that there's a light inside.
Y he hablado de mi sobrina de 7 años que en un momento ya reconoció que solo hay luz interior.
And I said, well, what do you notice in the light?
Y yo le pregunté, ¿qué notas que hay en la luz?
All is forgiven.
Y ella dijo, todo está perdonado.
It's like the entire course and it was like a 1-lesson course where she saw the whole thing.
En todo el curso completo lo hizo en una sola lección, en una sola situación.
Say 1 second. So it would all be over
Un segundo.
if we would just accept that, see the holy instant, and go, oh, that's all there is. You're done.
Y eso es lo que podemos hacer, reconocer que está el instante santo y que eso es todo y tan.
So in the Aramaic translation, Vic Alexander did a beautiful translation from Aramaic to English of the Bible.
Y la traducción del arameo al inglés de la Biblia que hizo Alexander es muy brillante.
And it's just the words are it captures the mystical nature of what Jesus was teaching.
Y él encuentra la parte mística de lo que Jesús estaba enseñando.
And it's very simple, John 9.
Y es muy simple, Juan 9.
There is the light that lights everyone who is born.
Esta luz con la que todos nacen.
It's pointing, John's very mystical, really, of the Bible, of the 4 scribes of the Bible. John captures a lot of the mystical essence of what Jesus was pointing to.
Y Juan es de los 4 escribas el que más captura la parte mística de las enseñanzas de Jesús.
Inner light.
La luz interior.
But it's not a light like the sun.
No es una luz como la del sol.
It's what's here before time began.
Es esta luz que está antes de que el tiempo comenzara.
It's infinite, unchanging.
Es infinita, inmutable.
Every description that you've heard of God, you can recognize it. And when you recognize that light, inner light.
Toda descripción de Dios la encuentras cuando encuentras esta luz interior.
So my niece was a beautiful example of innocence, to see that, to recognize that there's a light here.
Y mi sobrina es el reflejo de esa inocencia, de ver que la luz está aquí.
And that when you contemplate this light, you see that everyone shares this. It's the only thing that's truly shared is light.
Y cuando contemplamos esta luz nos damos cuenta que esta luz es compartida por todos, es la única cosa que compartimos.
You could call it the infinite light of being.
Tú la puedes llamar la luz del ser divino.
And Jesus says in a course, if you contemplate light, you contemplate that light.
Jesús dice en el curso que si contemplas esa luz, vas a tener revelaciones.
Revelatory experience will come. It'll reveal to you the nature of divinity, really.
Y van a llegar experiencias revelatorias porque es la demostración de la divinidad.
And that's why it's valuable. It's revelatory.
Y eso es lo que es valioso, eso es revelatorio.
And Jesus talks about in a course how contemplating light, he talks about how it unites you with God.
Say again, Kate. Sorry.
Contemplating light unites you with God. He uses that term.
Y él usa el término de contemplar la luz es unirnos con Dios.
And there are many beings that have contemplated light, and the recognition will come that there is only one.
Y cuando varios seres están contemplando la luz, hay el reconocimiento de que solo hay uno.
And the undying nature that there's something here that's infinite, unchanging, undying.
Y es el reconocimiento de que hay algo aquí que no cambia, que no muere.
So it's extremely valuable to contemplate infinite light.
Entonces es extremadamente importante contemplar la luz.
It's the challenge is the addiction to Genesis.
El reto aquí es la adicción al Génesis.
The genesis of the tiny mad idea to have an experience other than infinite light.
El reto de la pequeña alocada idea de ser una cosa diferente de la luz.
So if you haven't seen it yet, we will share it, the crazy dream bubble diagram.
Y si ustedes no lo han visto, les podemos compartir el video, la imagen de la burbuja loca.
But it describes how there is light, there's only light.
Y describe cómo hay solamente luz.
That is absolute reality.
Esa es la absoluta realidad.
And then a tiny mad idea came, I want to have an experience, I want to have an experience that's not that. I want to deny that.
Y entonces viene la pequeña alocada idea que dice, no quiero ser eso, quiero negar que soy eso.
It's an I, me bubble, dream. I am separate from that light. I'm separate from the Father.
Yo estoy separado de esa luz, yo estoy separado del Padre.
And someone wrote and asked about that and said, you know, you're talking about light that seems really disrespectful of God.
Y alguien escribió, estás hablando de la luz y eso es muy irrespetuoso con Dios.
The happiest day will come when you see that's the same as the Father.
El momento más feliz es cuando te das cuenta que eso es lo mismo que el Padre, que la luz es lo mismo que el Padre.
But this is what the ego does not want to see. It's a fight against, I don't want to see that reality.
Y eso es lo que pelea el ego. No quiero ver esa realidad.
I not only don't I want to see it, I do not want to experience the fruits of it.
Y no solo no quiero verla, sino que no quiero experimentar los frutos de eso.
The fruit of it is joy. That's the fruit.
Los frutos de eso es gozo. Ese es el fruto.
It's really beautiful. Muji, he's a wonderful teacher of contemplating light.
Y Muji es un maestro espectacular de contemplar la luz.
And he's so devoted to truth.
Y es muy devoto a la verdad.
And he would say in Satsang, because many can see it in Satsang, they'll talk about, I've seen that there's light. I see this light you're talking about.
Y porque muchos en el Satsang dicen, sí, ya veo lo que tú dices, sí, hay luz.
And the point of Ramana's self-inquiry is to see, what am I? Who am I? That's Ramana, reflecting back to see what's here.
Y eso era lo que Ramana decía, ¿quién soy? Lo llevaba a ver directamente.
And then the line forms outside the door with beings lined up to go, but Muji, I saw the light, I saw the joy, but it disappeared.
Y entonces había esta fila diciendo, sí, Muji, veo la luz, sé que veo la luz, pero desaparece.
I've told the story, like I was in Satsang with Muji, and he gave the instruction, okay, go back and contemplate light.
Y recuerdo que estaba en un satsang con Muji y dijo, vayan y contemplen la luz.
And before that night, I was just going, I don't get this. These people are kissing his feet and all this, I don't get all this.
Y yo decía, no, yo no puedo aceptar esto que toda la gente vaya y le bese los pies.
But I went back and I followed his instruction to contemplate light.
Y entonces fui y hice lo que él me dijo, contemplar la luz.
And this love, this infinite recognition that this is infinite. There's this infinite love.
Y entonces vino este infinito reconocimiento de ver ese amor infinito que estaba ahí.
So, of course, the next day I'm up in Satsang going, it's infinite. There's this love. I see it. I get...
Y entonces al otro día, cuando abrieron el Satsang, yo decía, sí, vi la luz, es infinita.
It's a good thing to see. But,
es una muy buena cosa que ver.
But the next second, I'm going to walk up. Can I come? Because I was so much in a state of gratitude,
Pero luego viene el otro momento, porque estaba en un momento de mucha gratitud.
It's so humbling. I mean, I take the step forward from the microphone. It was like I was in a dark tunnel already. You see the light, the love, and it's all of a sudden everything's going black, going up to talk to Muji.
Entonces había esta fila, todos que iban a hablar con Muji. Yo iba como por ese túnel viendo la luz.
But let me tell you something. When I saw that, I was so grateful. I was like everybody else. I was kissing his feet. Thank you. Because it's valuable to see that.
Con esta gratitud que yo tenía, que había visto la luz, yo le besé los pies.
But all of the play, I was experiencing the same thing that many students of spiritual awakening experience.
Y entonces yo estaba teniendo la misma experiencia que muchos estudiantes tienen esta experiencia de despertar.
And this is the true power, one of the many powers of A Course in Miracles.
Y este es uno de los poderes maravillosos del curso de milagros, uno de varios.
Some beings think, okay, I saw the light and I recognize there's only one, and I've had spiritual awakening toast and I'm done.
Y entonces tuve una experiencia, muchos estudiantes dicen, o muchas personas espirituales dicen, he tenido esta experiencia de la luz, me doy cuenta que somos uno y como que ya estoy listo, ya estoy hecho, ya estoy tostado.
I learned very quickly from Jesus, a not so fast grasshopper. You have some more to do.
Say again, Kate?
I said, I learned from Jesus, it's not so fast, more to do, more to see.
Y aprendí por Jesús de que en eso no era tan rápido, que tenía algo más que ver.
And what Muji would say, though, I want to say what he would say about this light, because once you grok this is important. Once you fully get it in your being, what he's saying about this light.
Voy a decir lo que Muji dice de la luz, porque cuando lo asimiles plenamente, esto de la luz.
He would say, you have no idea what you have found.
Y él dice, no tienes ni idea de lo que has encontrado.
Because this recognition of light, the ego treats it like a parlor trick. Oh, that's nice. Look, it's infinite. Okay, I got stuff to do in the world.
Sí, porque el ego lo toma como como un parloteo ahí, donde dice, sí, veo que soy luz, pero bueno, tengo que hacer cosas en el mundo.
Excuse me, that was nice, but, I'm busy.
Discúlpame, eso estuvo lindo, pero estoy ocupado.
That's the play of diving into the dream bubble, too busy to recognize true reality, infinite.
Y eso es el juego de entrar en la burbuja, de sumergirnos en la burbuja. Estoy demasiado ocupado para ver la realidad.
I could see there's something there that's infinite, unchanging, doesn't die, never born.
Puedo ver que hay algo que nunca cambia, que nunca nace, que nunca muere.
And still I could see emotions like mad as a hornet. Now what's going on?
Pero entonces aún siguen esas emociones. Entonces, ¿qué está pasando?
This is why Jesus's definition You are not done until you're supremely happy 24/7.
Y por eso es la definición de Jesús. Tú no estás finalizado, no has finalizado esto hasta que no seas supremamente feliz 7/24.
The fruit of that light is joy, pure joy.
Y de los frutos de esa luz es puro gozo, gozo puro.
The ego's looking at that light going, yeah, it looks boring to me.
Y el ego dice, ay, sí, mira, esa luz parece aburrida para mí.
As soon as it says that, it's going, it's boring. Okay.
Y inmediatamente va y dice, es aburrida.
You got to talk to the one that knows.
Tenemos que hablarle a aquel que sabe.
Jesus.
Jesús.
Is that light the same as all the love of the Father ever present?
Esa luz es lo mismo que todo el amor de Dios presente.
This is another reason why you got to start talking to him.
Esa es otra de las razones por las cuales debes comenzar a hablar con él.
Ask him, Jesus. But you cannot, the whole consciousness Genesis is to not experience that. It's an I, me that wants to experience anything other than that light.
Y el juego de la conciencia es experimentar cualquier otra cosa menos esa luz.
So now you have, students that seemingly spiritually awaken, and then they're going, but there's a veil over it. There's a veil over it.
Y entonces hay estos estudiantes que tienen estas experiencias, pero dicen, pero hay un velo sobre eso.
What it is, it's a game called See No Light, Hear No Voice for God, and Speak No Light. That's the game.
Es el juego de no ver la luz, no escuchar la luz, y no hablar la luz.
It's consciousness. Genesis is the expression of consciousness. The Son of God is consciousness.
El Génesis es el juego de la conciencia. El Hijo de Dios es el juego de la conciencia.
The genesis of a tiny mad idea to have a little dream, Maya. You hear that in other spiritual traditions, Maya, the dream, the illusion.
Y entonces de tener esta experiencia de Maya, que lo escuchamos en otras tradiciones, de tener la ilusión, el juego de la ilusión.
The relishing of the subconscious desire for self-delusion.
El disfrute de la experiencia de autoengañarnos.
And the reason I am so grateful for this one.
Y la razón por la que estoy tan agradecida por este.
And why, thank God, the voice for God speaks to me throughout the day to help see through the delusion.
Y porque escuchar que la voz de Dios habla durante todo el día es útil para salir de la ilusión.
And who says, I will tell you everything you need to know.
Y él dice, yo te diré todo lo que tú necesitas saber.
He's saying because everything you tell yourself is to keep yourself self-deluded.
Porque todo lo que te dices a ti mismo es para mantenerte a ti mismo autoengañado.
Okay, you can ask him. This is what we did.
Tú le puedes preguntar.
The entire focus here is to support each other with 100% hearing that we can hear Jesus and talk to him 24/7 to get ourselves out of the tiny mad idea craziness that we miscreated.
Y estamos aquí todos para apoyarnos porque y para ver la locura de esta pequeña alocada idea.
And not to be satisfied with these little scraps that seem like happiness. You go for the big kahuna, or the fruit of the light, which is in unending joy.
Y no quedarnos con las pequeñas partes de la suprema felicidad, sino ir por toda la cojuna de la suprema felicidad, del gozo.
So now we have a playbook, a Course in Miracles that outlines every no to God. Ask Jesus.
Y preguntar a Jesús. Entonces ahora tenemos el curso de milagros que nos ayuda con esto.
Where in consciousness is there actually a playbook that says, you believe this, you desire this, you desire this, you desire this, all the desires to deny divinity.
Y ver que este libro nos muestra todas las negaciones. Tú niegas esto, esto, esto.
And a means, look, talk to me.
Y los medios. Y Jesús dice, háblame,
Ask me,
pregúntame.
and in your willingness, I'll reveal to you all the blocks to the awareness of love.
Y en tu voluntad yo te revelaré todos los bloqueos que le tienes al amor.
He doesn't say most of them,
Él no
all.
dice algunos de ellos, él dice todos.
So the voice for God speaks to me throughout the day.
La voz de Dios me habla durante todo el día.
And he can tell you where every single desire you have to dive away from the light into the dream bubble is.
Y él te va a mostrar todo como quieres meterte en el juego la burbuja.
So it's a two-part plan, you know. You contemplate light.
Entonces es un plan de dos partes. Tú contemplas la luz.
But the reason he does not emphasize it at first is because of the investment in dreaming.
Say it again.
The reason he does not emphasize it like many spiritual traditions do, he's got a couple of lessons on it, but the reason
la razón por la que él no enfatiza directamente en la luz, hay un par de lecciones que hablan de la luz, pero la razón por la que no lo hace es
because an unpurified mind is just full of denials of light.
Porque una mente no purificada está llena de negaciones de esa luz.
It still can be valuable to contemplate the light.
Es aún valioso contemplar la luz.
But his suggestion is do your workbook, get the purification, keep purifying all the no's to the light through miracles.
Pero su plan de trabajo es haz las lecciones para que seas purificado a través de estas lecciones y llevado a los milagros.
He says the revelation from that light unites you with God.
Porque la revelación de esa luz te va a mostrar la unicidad con Dios.
Okay, meaning you're going to see that you give up the ghost and go, I'm already united with God, nothing I can do about it, actually.
Y es lo que te va a llevar a saber que estás unificado con Dios y que no hay nada que hacer.
That's when I folded up my tent. When I saw that light is everywhere, I can go down the hall, I can go everywhere, but that light's still here. No matter where you go.
Y ver que esta luz siempre está ahí, no importa dónde tú vayas.
So it actually, by contemplating that light, it can actually, you know, the ego will play, it's fearful of the light and all that sort of stuff, but it actually can start having you realize there's no place else to go except the light, you know.
Y contemplando la luz, aunque el ego tiene miedo de esto, puedes ver que simplemente hay luz.
Okay, but it's two-part because if you look in the Course, he says, and miracles unite you with your brother.
Porque recuerdo, es de dos partes, porque en el curso dice, los milagros te unen con tu hermano.
What he's pointing to is that those hidden subconscious desires, you can recognize the light, but it's an addiction to diving away from it and denying the Father.
Porque tú puedes contemplar la luz, pero hay una adicción de negar al Padre.
So to be coached by him, which he will help you if you ask him to coach one at a time. Oh, that's a denial of light. That's a denial of light. That's a denial of light.
Y puede ser entrenado directamente por él y te va a mostrar, eso es una negación de la luz, esa es una negación de la luz.
And he's going to put you in proximity with your brother.
Y te va a poner cerca a tus hermanos.
As part of your assignment, if you're willing.
Es parte de tu asignación, si es tu voluntad.
because it will bring into your awareness, working with him, all the places you want to kill the light out of awareness.
Porque él va a traer a tu conciencia, ellos van a traer a tu conciencia donde quieres matar la luz de tu conciencia.
That's why forgiveness, he uses forgiveness through your brother as the gateway to heaven.
Por eso él utiliza el perdón como la llave al cielo.
Because your brother is the symbol in your mind, either that there is an other in hell,
Porque el ego utiliza a tu hermano como un otro para llevarte al infierno,
or infinite light and your acceptance of the atonement.
o la luz infinita para aceptar la expiación.
And your brother is in the purification of the mind, the brother becomes a celebration of all the love it is. You can hardly even look at them because they're like the symbols of light.
Y en la expiación, tu hermano es el símbolo de todo esto de la luz.
So the power of this, because do not underestimate the level of desires to deny that light that are in the catacombs of the subconscious mind.
Porque no puedes subestimar todas estas negaciones que hay en las catacumbas de tu mente, de esta luz.
It takes a lot of looking, and a lot of fire with him.
Muchísimo, muchísimo escuchar y mirar y seguir.
Because of the addiction, because there's a belief in the subconscious mind that somehow the world offers something, that love can be found in form, in the world.
Porque hay esta adicción de creer que el amor se puede encontrar en la forma.
And it really takes him to show you through following, he reveals to you the places in your mind where you're denying the Father.
Y necesitamos a él, lo necesitamos a él para que nos muestre dónde estamos negando al Padre.
So even with I'll say, because you've heard me talk about this before, that I would just go, Jesus, am I not following you 100%? Am I not?
Ustedes me han estado escuchando que yo le pregunto a Jesús, Jesús, ¿no te estoy siguiendo el 100%?
And he, it's like, well, where's the happiness? You're talking about supreme happiness. Where's the fruit?
Y yo le decía, pero ¿de dónde están los frutos de la suprema felicidad? ¿Dónde está la suprema felicidad?
Buried under piles and piles of desires for something other than holiness.
Está enterrado bajo pilas y pilas de deseos de no ser la divinidad.
But he's brought us together, to look and to hear that voice together.
Pero él nos trae juntos para mirar esa luz juntos.
So the combination of contemplating the light and getting comfortable with the light.
Y entonces esta combinación de contemplar la luz y sentirnos confortables, sentirnos bien con esta luz.
To see, because there's such a play in consciousness. Well, it's the whole Old Testament, it's God's coming to get me. And
esto, y porque el otro es todo el Viejo Testamento. Dios va a venir acá a cogerme, a atraparme.
All the, the God of vengeance, and, you got to kill the fatted calf to win your way to heaven. That's all that belief system that you have to see through with Jesus that are in the subconscious mind.
Y tienes que mirar todas estas creencias en tu mente subconsciente con Jesús, la creencia de todas estas creencias que tenemos del Viejo Testamento.
I'm asking Jesus, but that Old Testament is a good playbook for what's happening in the subconscious mind.
Podemos preguntarle a Jesús si el Viejo Testamento es como la forma como juega la conciencia.
And then you get the New Testament, a new way of seeing.
Y luego tenemos el Nuevo Testamento, que es una nueva manera de ver.
It's an invitation to look and see the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Y es una invitación para ver que el reino de los cielos está aquí, a
He
la mano.
means it's here. It's the light. It's here.
Significa que está aquí.
It was just so powerful. I came across a a French psychotherapist, the writings of a French psychotherapist.
Y hay un escrito de un psicoterapeuta francés, creo.
Okay, this is Jesus. First of all, we know he's the best psychotherapist of all. We know
Pero
that.
Jesús sabe lo sabemos por el curso que Jesús es el mejor psicoterapeuta.
Helen was not writing her opinion in that psychotherapy pamphlet. That was coming direct from.
Y porque Helen no estaba escribiendo eso de psicoterapia por ella, lo escribió de él.
But interestingly enough, this psychotherapist in France, he wrote his thesis.
Y entonces esta psicoterapia, wrote in what?
His thesis.
What's that?
The thesis is his paper for.
Okay. The thesis, yeah, sorry. Okay. Entonces él escribió una tesis acerca de la psicoterapia.
He took the Gospel of Thomas, and they only have 200 lines. I don't know how he did this. It's only 200 lines, the Gospel of Thomas.
Y entonces tomó el escrito de Tomás, que tiene como 200 páginas nomás, pues, 200 palabras.
And he realized that what Jesus was teaching was psychotherapy, to look into your mind. He wasn't trying to start a religion. He's saying, look and see what's happening in your mind.
Y él muestra cómo Jesús mira qué está pasando en tu mente.
Which you can ask him, because you can talk to him, ask him if he was teaching that, trying to teach that to the apostles. Look and see what's happening and play in your mind.
Y pregúntenle a ustedes, porque ustedes pueden preguntarle, Jesús, ¿estabas enseñándole a ellos, a los apóstoles, que para que miraran qué había en su mente?
And see all the places in your mind where you're saying no to the light that lights everyone that's born.
Y ver que en tu mente que ahí está esta luz con la cual todos nacemos.
I said this last week, and he's saying it again this week, so I guess he must need to hear it twice.
Parece que tenemos que escucharlo 2 veces, porque lo dijo la vez pasada, en la sesión pasada, y ahora también lo vuelve a decir.
In that Aramaic Bible,
en la Biblia de Arameo,
Genesis,
en el Génesis,
the Son of God created the heavens and the earth.
el Hijo de Dios creó el cielo.
It's perfect course of miracles. Perfect course of miracles. The Son of God, not God.
Okay. Y esto es un curso de milagros perfectamente. Dice, no dice Dios, dice el Hijo de Dios.
Okay. And it was for him and by him.
Lo hizo para él y por él.
And before that it goes, as the beginning.
Y antes dice, como el comienzo.
It's a beginning. It's consciousness. It's the beginning of the tiny mad idea at the beginning.
Es el comienzo de la pequeña alocada idea de la conciencia.
God has no beginning. God is.
Dios no tiene inicios. Dios es.
And it was for him and by him.
Y fue hecho por él y para él.
And darkness was over the infinite space.
Y la oscuridad cubrió todo el espacio.
And the Spirit of God was over the waters.
Y el Espíritu de Dios estaba sobre las aguas.
The Trinity.
La Trinidad.
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The Spirit.
Y la Trinidad, el Padre, el Hijo y el Espíritu Santo.
And then it says, let in there, little things, let there be light.
Y luego dice él, deja que haya luz.
They are not talking about light the world.
Él no está hablando de la luz del mundo.
The memory is carried in the Holy Spirit, remembers the light. Let there be light. Let the light of God come into this world. Don't obscure it.
Y el
from your
Espíritu
mind.
da la luz, que la luz, y no la oscurezcas de tu mente, no la...
See, the light comes
quites de
by
tu mente.
invitation.
La luz viene por invitación.
Well, it's always there, but we put out the nomad. Not interested. Like,
Y entonces la luz siempre está ahí, pero nosotros ponemos el tapete de no invitación.
God, I always wondered about that. God takes the last step. Well,
Y también está pensando en la parte donde dice, Dios dará el último paso.
God took the first step and he said, it wasn't really a step. You don't have a choice not to be light. You are light. You are perfect as God made you. You don't get a choice.
Entonces, Él dio el primer paso, pero realmente no hay un primer paso. Dios simplemente no te da opciones.
Okay, but you have to take the first step forward to accept all that's given you.
Pero entonces tú también tienes que dar el primer paso para aceptar todo lo que te ha
To
dado.
ask for the help of Jesus to clear your mind. Here, show me, and get as many miracles. Just get miracles and miracles as miracles to purify the mind, so that that light, that natural state of love, infinite love, is all there. You see, it's all there is. Like,
Y
what do we
entonces simplemente es pedir todos estos milagros, milagros y milagros para ver lo que es.
So this great, I mean, it's incredible, this Course in Miracles.
Es increíble este curso de milagros.
It's teaching us to refer back to wholeness, this symbol in the mind of the Father in a
Nos
form
lleva
that
a
we can
mirar,
feel it.
a mirar la plenitud. Y Jesús es el símbolo de esto.
You know, it's it's the voices that comes through super consciousness. That's the part of you that remembers what you are.
Y esta es la voz que viene de la superconciencia que te recuerda quién eres.
Sitting on your shoulder, willing to talk only of wholeness so that you refer back to it all day long.
Y entonces lo pones en tu hombro y estás preguntando durante todo el día.
And then as the mind's purified, you just have one thought of Jesus. It's like, you're referring back to yourself, your wholeness, your perfection.
Y cuando ya no tienes sino un solo pensamiento, te refieres a eso y te das cuenta que eres uno, que eres perfección.
Just like one thought is a reminder of all the love of the Father. Till you see
Es un pensamiento que te recuerda todo el amor del Padre.
It's the true meaning of Holy Communion. It's communion, continual.
Es el verdadero símbolo de la comunión, de la Santa Comunión.
Infinite light celebrating.
Es la luz infinita celebrándose.
I get it. The ego goes, well, what am I going to do? Because, where's the excitement?
Y entonces el ego va a decir, pero ¿qué voy a hacer yo? ¿Dónde está la parte excitante de esto?
It's like, well, you don't exist. That's an idea. It's a concept. It's dancing with the devil is what it is.
Y te vas a dar cuenta entonces que eso simplemente es una idea, es bailar con el diablo.
So you just ask, but now you just develop that relationship with him so he can coach you. He's going to coach you directly right out of hell if you let him.
Si lo dejas a él, entonces él te va a entrenar para sacarte del infierno directo al cielo.
But the addiction is not to be underestimated. It's not to be underestimated. The addiction to hell and suffering and pain and illness.
La adicción al dolor, al sufrimiento, a la enfermedad.
And you can ask, once you get that dialogue going and you can hear him.
Y cuando comienzas ese diálogo con él, porque tú lo puedes escuchar.
It's the decision not to have it be selective.
Es la decisión de no ser selectivo.
See, you're here, you hear him, you came,
Porque tú lo puedes escuchar,
And a lot of students of Course in Miracles will write many beautiful things that Jesus said. That is great.
Y hay estudiantes del curso que escriben cosas maravillosas que vienen de Jesús.
But the gift of A Course in Miracles is that he's going to show you every place. You have to follow him, because following him is saying no to the ego. I'm going to follow this
Pero
love.
entonces tienes que seguirlo a él porque eso es decirle no al ego.
You'll see it's saying, following him is saying yes to all the love the Father has for you. It's
decirle no al ego es aceptar todo el amor que tiene el Padre para.
like I've
para
said
ti.
before, it's like, okay, Jesus, I'll do it.
En un principio era, ok, Jesús, lo voy a
Like,
hacer.
so many times it's like, oh, I would rather poke my eye out with a stick than do what he's asking me to do.
Entonces hubo muchos momentos donde yo decía, prefiero sacarme un ojo con un palo que hacer lo que tú me dices.
But I trusted him. You have to hold into the assignments that he gives you. Hold all the way till they're complete and do not budge.
Y entonces tú tienes que ir completamente en la asignación que te dé él a plenitud.
Then you will see that this is how you get the fruits of the Spirit.
Y ahí es donde vas a tener los frutos del Espíritu.
Now the ego goes, I'm getting rid of those mighty companions. I want to kill them all. Yeah.
Porque el ego dice, no, yo quiero matar a estos compañeros poderosos.
Because the ego is going to block. It wants to avoid seeing.
Porque el ego va a querer bloquear tu mirar.
So it's when we don't follow Jesus, all that is, you have to see what that is.
Pero cuando tú no sigues a Jesús, tienes que darte cuenta qué significa eso.
The ego starts telling a story when the guidance comes. Well, I can't do that because I got this to do and I got my life to live.
Entonces el ego va a venir con estas historias. Mira, sí, yo tengo una vida que vivir.
Well, underneath that, deep in the subconscious catacombs, it's going, I don't want to see light of truth.
Y entonces abajo en las catacumbas de la mente subconsciente está, yo no quiero ver la verdad.
I do not want to see that I am as God made me.
Yo no quiero ver que soy tal como Dios me creó.
It'll even quote the Course quote, so that meanwhile it's going, I don't want to see. It's really amazing.
Incluso citar el curso es no quiero ver.
It'll talk about, we've talked about some of this, like it'll start talking about, the script is written and all these other things. You don't want to talk about them.
El guión está escrito y comenzamos a hablar de todas estas cosas. No hay necesidad de hablar de esto.
You don't want to quote Course quotes.
Tú no tienes que citar el curso.
You want to see that you're exactly what the Course is telling you are. Your love itself. You mean God makes love, period. That's
porque tienes que ver que tú eres amor, exactamente como el curso lo dice, eres amor y punto.
Creation is love. It's a celebration of love unending, Holy Communion.
Porque es la celebración de la Santa Comunión, de la plenitud.
So it gives you assignments to do to wash out all ideas that you're not that.
Y entonces él te da asignaciones para que limpies todas estas creencias de que tú no eres eso.
That you're anything other than supreme happiness with two little feet.
Que tú eres la suprema felicidad en dos pies.
You gotta follow. Oh my gosh, that
Pero tú tienes que seguirlo.
That's the beast.
Pero esa es la bestia.
Every twitch, any kind
Cada
of
molestia.
It's not natural to twitch or, bomb goes off or to be, it's not natural. None of that stuff. Ask Jesus. Absolutely not.
Y nada de esto, ninguna molestia, ninguna de estas molestias es algo natural. Pregúntale a Jesús.
Your natural state is just just joy. That's it.
Tu estado natural es gozo, eso es todo.
So that's what Jesus is offering. He's offering unending fruit that comes with the light.
Y eso es lo que nos está ofreciendo Jesús, frutos que no terminan, que vienen con la luz,
Infinite,
infinitos,
unchanging,
inmutables,
no death,
que no mueren.
impossible. Fear is impossible.
Que el miedo, donde el miedo es imposible.
Look, it's instructive to be shown by Jesus in your subconscious mind how much you enjoy fear. The ego goes,
Y
this
es
is
muy
terrible.
útil ver que Jesús te muestre cómo disfrutas el miedo debajo del nivel de conciencia.
Jesus takes you down there and goes, look at this. And it's like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. I love it with every cell in my body. I love that experience of fear.
Y ver que lo disfrutamos con cada célula de nuestro cuerpo, todo este miedo.
And he's going to show you that exactly what he says in the course, it's chosen experience.
Y él te va a mostrar, como lo dice en el curso, que todos son experiencias deseadas, elegidas.
You can ask him, Jesus, is Genesis chosen?
Y puedes preguntarle a Jesús, ¿el Génesis es una elección?
Did I choose it? He goes,
¿Lo he elegido?
this is what the ego doesn't want you to, it's trying to obscure to see that it's chosen experience, everything.
Y eso es lo que el ego quiere oscurecer, que no te des cuenta que cada cosa de estas son elecciones
And it like
que has escogido.
at a surface level seems like this is a really not a good thing to find out that I chose it, because we're so used to thinking God's going to strike us dead.
Parece que en la parte superior de la conciencia como que no suena bien que nosotros miremos que nosotros hemos elegido esto.
We're still living in the consciousness of the Old Testament. God's coming to get me.
Porque aún estamos viviendo en el Viejo Testamento. Dios va a venir a cogerme, a atraparme.
Oh my gosh. Look, I admit it. But you look. But then, he that's why he says, do not make this stuff real. You're giving yourself a double punishment.
Y por eso es que dice que no hagamos esto real, porque nos estamos autocastigando doble vez.
See, once you see and recognize that holy instant, that inner light, okay, once you recognize that.
Cuando tú has reconocido la luz interior, el instante santo.
Okay. This is the good news about it. You can look in there and see if that light is chasing you around, trying to get you with a stick.
Esta luz está tratando de atraparte y pegarte con un palo.
It's just here, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to attack you. It's not going to strike you dead. It doesn't. That's all part of the dream.
Entonces usted te das cuenta que esta luz no te va a tratar de atrapar, no te sí, porque todo eso es parte del sueño.
See, it gets really funny because you see that you chose it. That's when you're really in you see, oh my God.
Y se vuelve muy divertido cuando te das cuenta que tú lo has elegido.
If you're not laughing that hard when you see it, you haven't taken it all the way to see.
Si no te ríes fuertemente con esto es porque no has mirado completamente, no has visto esto.
To see the divine power that you have to choose again and not choose all those little unhappy experiences anymore.
Ver que tienes el poder de elegir de nuevo y no seguir eligiendo estas experiencias de infelicidad.
The miracle, it's like the miracle, that is unspeakable, the miracle.
Y eso es, no se puede hablar, eso es el milagro, el milagro.
It's seeing that I can choose to see differently. I'm going to see it the way God sees it.
Es el ver que puedo elegir de nuevo y verlo como Dios lo ve.
You're going to be so happy. You just talk to Jesus. Tell me about that.
Y puedes hablar a Jesús a lo largo del día y decirle, bueno, háblame de esto.
I can see it. Anything but talk to Jesus. Anything but talk to Jesus. When that's the solution.
Y vemos que no queremos escuchar a Jesús, queremos cualquier cosa, pero no escuchar a Jesús cuando Él es la solución.
And I can say this because I was the last one that wanted to talk to Jesus, so I think it's
Yo puedo decir esto porque yo era la última que quería hablar con Jesús.
I didn't want anybody to know I could hear Jesus, talk to Jesus. No.
Porque yo que escuchaba a algunos que decían que podían escuchar a Jesús y hablar a Jesús, pero yo decía no.
But he's brought me to the other side where I know there's no other way but this voice. For me.
Pero entonces Él me ha traído al otro lado donde me doy cuenta de que no, al menos para mí, que no hay otra forma que escuchar su voz.
You know, and then he wins you over. But if you talk to him, he'll win. You contemplate light, and he win you over to the happy side.
Entonces, si contemplas la luz y lo escuchas a Él, Él te va a llevar al lado feliz.
And you'll see what a gift it is. That's it just became, oh my gosh, it's every time you talk to him, it's all the love of the Father reminder.
Y es, cada vez que hablas con Él es el recordatorio de todo el amor del Padre.
Which makes sense because he says the voice for God speaks to me throughout the day. And, it's like, well, why?
Y eso tiene sentido. Y eso tiene sentido porque cuando Él dice la voz que habla durante todo el día, entonces, ¿cómo va a hacer eso si no lo escucho?
Because we're used to hearing a voice. So he gives us a voice so we can learn the voice that points toward wholeness. Look this way, not in this way. Look this way. Look toward what your Father gave you.
Entonces esta voz te dice, mira hacia aquí, donde vemos todo lo que el Padre te dio, no hacia el otro lado.
Look toward the power of the light that you are.
Mira todo el poder de la luz que es lo que eres.
And then it dawned. That contemplating light is where it dawns. It was like the core crystallized for me.
Cuando se contempla la luz es como donde queda hecho, donde se cristaliza esto.
That if the light wasn't ever present, that piece of that light.
Porque si la luz no estuviera siempre presente,
then there must be a desire for something other than that peaceful experience.
Tiene que ser que hay un deseo de una experiencia diferente a esa paz de esa luz.
So it takes every bit that my experience, every bit of faith and commitment, because it's faith and commitment in yourself.
Pero se requiere toda la fe y el compromiso, porque es la fe y el compromiso en ti mismo.
That you are as God made you.
De que tú eres tal como Dios te creó.
See, and when he pointed out to me, it was so profound when he said, trust is pointing back to you to trust yourself, because the Father already trusts you.
Porque Él me muestra como cuando yo confío en Él, estoy en verdad confiando en mí, porque Dios no sabe de confianza.
It's always pointing. It's a little pointer when you trust you're having faith in yourself as God made you perfect.
Porque eso apunta cuando tú estás teniendo fe y confianza en lo que Dios hizo, en lo que Dios hizo.
And then in that voice is here, for us to just remind us ever present Holy Communion, the communion with the Father.
Y entonces tener esta voz presente que nos recuerda que esta santa comunión con el Padre.
So thank you, Jesus, for reminding us of the light.
Así que gracias, Jesús, por recordarnos la luz.
Now we have to just accept all the miracles so that the infinite fruit of that light is in direct experience.
Y entonces aceptar todos estos milagros para llevarnos a la experiencia de los frutos de esta luz.
So I felt like let's open it up to there's many Jesuses here, gallery.
Entonces aquí hay varios Jesuses, vamos a abrir.
Let's see if anyone has a question.
A ver si alguien tiene alguna pregunta.
Did you have a question, Renee?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
¿Tienes una pregunta, René? No, no en este momento.
Or anything Jesus is saying to you, you know?
¿Hay algo que les esté diciendo Jesús?
Just seeing more and more the happiness and being wrong about everything.
Ver la feliz que soy cuando me doy cuenta cuán equivocada estoy.
And the simplicity. Thank you.
Y que esto no tiene por qué ser así. Gracias.
Thanks, Renee. And, you know, and the importance of taking the assignments. You
Y la
know,
importancia de asumir las asignaciones
and staying with them too. That's how
y de
he
mantenerse en ella.
following, you get heaps of miracles when you follow.
Porque el seguirlo es el hit de los
It's like,
milagros.
it's like, I would, you know, it's like, Jesus, this doesn't feel like a heap of miracles, but it is. It is.
Yo digo,
Yeah.
no, eso no es como que yo no siento que esto le pegue a los milagros.
Yes, I am starting to see that transformation where I wasn't laughing so much. I'm starting to laugh a lot more.
Y estoy
he
viendo esa
says.
transformación porque antes no me ría tanto, ahora me río más.
And going to him quickly.
Y
And asking
ir a
him what
él
miracles.
rápidamente y preguntarle a él qué milagros hacer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes, thank you for that reminder, because sticking with the assignments is essential.
Sí.
Thank you.
Y gracias por ese recordatorio, porque mantenerse en la asignación es esencial. Gracias.
And thank you for Renee for reminding us, look, there is nothing of greater value than to have Jesus tell you which miracles you need. He's the one who's going to know.
Y no hay cosa más valiosa que tener a Jesús directamente enseñándote qué milagros son los que se necesitan.
I mean, the number of times I wanted to tell him what miracles I needed. That's legion.
Porque el número de veces fueron legiones cuando yo quería decirle a Jesús cuáles eran los milagros que se tenían que hacer.
The greatest gift, oh my gosh, the greatest gift was to ask him what miracle
El
do I
mayor
need now? You tell me.
Regalo que le puedes pedir es dime qué milagros necesito para que él me lo diga.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know why I didn't get that part of the course. But
Para mí tiene sentido, no sé en qué parte del curso.
Like Jesus would be the one who would know what miracles are best and how to do them. You know, that's.
Porque Jesús sabe qué milagros hacer y cómo hacerlos.
And then having him change the course into the course that where you don't want miracles, where you see you don't want miracles. You don't want to see that
y ver con él en el curso donde tú no quieres milagros.
You know, that you're everything. Let me
que tú eres todo.
I'm try to pin Renee here, see if there's anything else. There we go. Pin. Okay, there we go.
Estoy tratando de seleccionar.
You do start laughing a lot. Because every time you say something, you go, oh my gosh, he's right again, and you laugh, you know, oh my gosh.
Y entonces comienzas a reírte cuando comienzas a darte cuenta que todo lo que él dice es cierto.
Yeah, like how valuable, what a gift it is to just look and then see how much it's relished.
Y lo valioso que es ver cuánto disfrutamos estos deseos.
Yeah, you know, if you're new, we'll just mention that, you know, Jesus is oh my gosh, so much love comes with this, because he showed me, he taught me how he could show me in my subconscious mind how much I really didn't want miracles at all. And so
y ver con él que demuestre cuánto tú no quieres los milagros en tu mente subconsciente.
So if you're new here, you can and join us for light circles, and you'll hear Jesus will start coaching you. Say, look at this, and he'll teach you. You'll learn how to work with him directly on your miracles.
Si tú eres nuevo, tú puedes mirar y te puedes unir a los círculos de luz para ver cómo Jesús te entrena directamente para ver los milagros que se
So
requieren.
what Renee's talking about is how up here the ego's going, oh, I don't want pain or suffering or whatever.
Porque aquí con lo que René está diciendo es que aquí decimos, el ego dice, no, yo no quiero dolor ni sufrimiento.
And when she'd take her to the subconscious mind, she sees how much she we could use the word relish, how much you like really love whatever that pain was. You're just like having a love affair down there with it.
Entonces, pero si vas a tu mente subconsciente, te comienzas a reír cuando te das cuenta que en verdad tú amas y disfrutas, nosotros usamos esta palabra, disfrutas este deseo, esta experiencia.
But see, then it gets funny. It gets much funny.
Y luego se vuelve más divertido.
We want the fruits of the light, you know, that's how you get the fruit, is by changing your mind. That
tú quieres los frutos de esto y obtienes los frutos cambiando de mentalidad.
By having Jesus show you where you're dancing with the devil down there. You're subconscious.
Y dejar que Jesús te muestre dónde tú bailas con el diablo en tu mente subconsciente.
Yeah, so
Also,
oh, go
yeah,
ahead. What else?
He's showing me more like how I that experience or that desire to like feel like the light is going to get me.
Okay.
Y él me muestra que él disfruta el deseo de como que la luz me va a atrapar.
So just relishing that and releasing that to a miracle so that I don't have to
disfrutar esto y liberar esto a un milagro, porque esto no tiene que ser, porque ser así.
I don't have that experience anymore.
Para no tener nunca más esta experiencia.
Look, you know, if you're afraid of the light, who better to talk to about it? So she's having him coach her on her fear of the light, the play in consciousness to be fearful of the light.
Porque en el juego de la conciencia tenemos miedo de la luz, y quién mejor que Jesús para mostrarnos esto.
So I'll share a little thing too that's very powerful about this contemplation on light, okay?
Y voy a compartir algo con relación a la contemplación de la luz que es muy poderoso.
The whole point of the ego is to look toward the light and have the bejesus scared out of it. Just saying.
Say it again, Kate.
The whole point of the dream bubble is so that when it looks toward the infinite light, it's terrified.
Y el juego de la conciencia es ver que le tenemos terror a la luz.
Okay, but once you see the holy instant, you learn Jesus is trying to teach you to look from the light. If you look from the light, you're never afraid.
Pero entonces Jesús te está enseñando a ver todo esto desde la luz, porque cuando ves desde la luz no hay miedo.
So it's like, it is good, like she's seeing where she actually relishes, enjoys. You'll see it in your subconscious mind. How much, if you're afraid of the light, you'll like it. That's all.
Y ver, porque ya lo estaba mostrando, cómo nos gusta tener miedo de la luz.
So it's very humble. It's very honest what she's reporting, but she sees that her way out is talking to him and have her coach her and show her that energy in the mind to release it to a miracle.
Y lo que ella nos está mostrando es muy útil porque nos muestra cómo disfrutamos esto, pero también su entrenamiento para ser liberada esta energía y a un milagro.
So thank you, Renee. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Así que gracias, René. Es muy hermoso, una hermosa devoción.
Deep trust, really.
Ella está en una profunda confianza.
Does anyone here want to share? You've been contemplating light. We contemplate light in the mornings.
¿Alguien quiere compartir algo aquí? Porque nosotros contemplamos la luz en las mañanas.
Let's see.
Hi, everybody.
Hola a todos.
So, hey, I'm living everything that you're talking about.
Yo estoy viviendo todo de lo que han estado hablando,
As well as everybody else here.
igual que todos aquí.
And I came to the center because I felt pulled, I felt called to follow the light in my mind and my heart.
Y vine al centro porque siento mi llamado en mi mente y en mi corazón.
And I look back on where my journey began 22 years ago and where I am now.
Y miro hacia atrás, 22 años atrás, cuando mi jornada comenzó y donde estoy ahora.
And I can see that every step I took along the way, no matter what it was, has brought me here.
Y ver que cada paso que he dado me ha traído aquí.
And I want to have, as you're talking about, have a really strong relationship with Jesus where I can just converse with him all day.
Y tener esta conversación, esta relación con Jesús y tener esta conversación a lo largo del día.
But the ego is just in full-time objection mode.
Pero entonces el ego está en modo objeción.
So I can see it and I can feel it, but I'm not buying it. I'm moving forward anyhow, but
Lo puedo ver, lo puedo sentir, pero no lo compro.
Good job.
Yeah.
Very good.
But and one of the things I notice is that, you know, when you talk about all of the different desires, you know, that need to be looked at. When I look at all the desires, I mean, there's mounds of desires that have to be released.
Entonces, cuando veo que hay montañas de deseos que tienen que ser liberados.
So I find, you know, the ego, you know, speaking up like, hey, my God, there's way too much. And like, you gotta no.
Y hablando como, siento que hay, como dice, como, hay mucho por hacer.
So it, you know, becomes overwhelming at times.
Y algunas veces como que me sobrecoge eso.
So I guess I just, you know, I want the path of least resistance, which there isn't one, so I just have to go through the resistance somehow.
Y quiero un camino donde no haya tantas resistencias, pero surgen todas estas resistencias.
And figure out how to dismantle the resistance.
Y entonces estoy mirando cómo desmantelar estas resistencias.
So thank you.
Así que gracias.
Thank you, David, for sharing that.
Gracias, David, por compartir eso.
But that's why, you know, first of all, the most important part of that is the willingness to develop the relationship with the one who knows how to step you through all that.
Y lo bueno, lo útil que es generar esta relación con el que sabe que te puede llevar a través de todo esto.
And the support of the mighty companions, you know, that are going for God too with you, standing right with you, glad to have you.
Y tener estos compañeros poderosos que te animan a continuar en esto.
But it's just one miracle at a time.
Porque es un milagro a la vez.
So what that helped me with is to see I could not do it without him, you know, that he was the way. He's the way to get out of this kerfuffle.
Porque me di cuenta por mí que yo lo necesitaba a él para que me sacara de este alboroto.
Like your determination, that's the most important. When Jesus said, I'm determined to see, like I had to be really determined to see.
Pero que cuando Jesús dice hay que está determinado a ver, tienes que en verdad estar determinado a ver.
Because the whole world's made to be determined not to see.
Porque todo el mundo está hecho para que no estés determinado a ver.
So the real power of this is you can get coached by him to see Jesus, do I in my subconscious mind actually relish the feeling of feeling like I'm resisting?
Lo bueno de que él te entrene es que le puedes preguntar a Jesús, yo disfruto esto en mi nivel de subconsciente, este deseo de resistirme.
See, and then you'll see that the ego relishes all these feelings, but when you notice the light's here, you know, it doesn't get all concerned about all the sensations and everything that's happening.
Y eso es lo bueno de contemplar la luz, porque la luz no se involucra en todas estas sensaciones de...
And that's the
de-
helpfulness of the contemplation on light, because I can resist as much as I want, but resistance is futile because it's too late. You're already the light. It's too.
y
happens.
es lo útil también de contemplar esta luz, porque ver que esto es fútil, porque ya eres la luz. No puedes hacer nada en contra de esto.
So the real beauty of this is the no to God as soon as you really turn in. You know, Jesus said, it goes from suspicious to vicious in the ego.
Y ver que la belleza de esto, porque ver la suspicacia del ego.
Thank God you are of God and you're not subject to that.
Y gracias a Dios no estás tú sujeto a eso.
So you have the power. You're the power position.
Tú tienes el poder, tú estás en la posición del poder.
Your power position is that you can always accept a miracle.
Y la posición de poder es que tú puedes aceptar el milagro.
And they're always there for you and you just accept them.
Y siempre está ahí para ti y simplemente tienes que aceptarlo.
So yeah, the great thing here is the accent on, okay, Jesus, will you help me see what this resistance is really?
Y la ayuda de él es que él te puede mostrar en verdad qué es la resistencia.
You know, because remember, it's energy that's in the subconscious mind, and he can show you the desired experience and you release that.
Y ver que esta energía que está en la mente subconsciente y él te la muestra y simplemente es liberarla.
And remember, our function, he's, you know, David's bringing the big W, we call the willingness. He's really willing to see it differently, and that's a great symbol for all of us.
Y David ha traído el recordatorio de la voluntad, y es un gran recordatorio para todos nosotros.
Oh, and here's another thing Jesus is reminding you. This is the fruit of talking to him all day.
Bueno, y hay otra cosa que me está Jesús recordando, esos son los frutos de escucharlo durante todo el día.
Okay, so consciousness is a sensation machine.
La conciencia es una máquina de sensaciones.
So it sees sensation and it goes, okay, and it likes definition. So it's going to go, there's a sensation and there's what it means. Remember Jesus said, I give everything
entonces,
I see.
Y es conceptos y definiciones. Entonces, recuerden que Jesús ha dicho, le he dado a todo.
So it's not only what you see, it's every experience. Consciousness by its nature is interpretive in its function. That's how it keeps itself alive. It's judgment, it's interpretation.
Y así es como se mantiene la conciencia viva, a través del juicio y la interpretación.
So we're just constantly, he says it, you let me interpret. Only accept his interpretation, refuse to accept any other interpretation.
Y entonces por eso nos tenemos que ir a preguntarle a él por su interpretación y rehusarnos a escuchar cualquier otra interpretación que no sea la de él.
Yeah, he's reminding me, this is a twitch like everything else, you know, is a twitch. And so we just go, okay, I'm not at peace. And what is it?
Y simplemente, ok, no estoy en paz, a reconocer que no estoy en paz y preguntarle qué es esto, qué hay debajo de esto.
So we just learned how to go to the rocket ship of the miracle. I'm going to get my miracle.
Y entonces es darnos cuenta que nos montamos en el cohete de los milagros y voy a obtener mi milagro.
But it does play like that. It seems like, you know, but you sidestep the fight. You don't have to be in the fight, remember? You don't have to fight the ego. You know, it's no.
No tienes que meterte en la pelea, simplemente no te tienes que meter en la pelea del ego.
Okay. We're just not making that stuff real. We're going, I'm getting my miracle. That's it. You just start learning how to be
No.
miracle-minded.
Entonces simplemente no te involucras en eso y vas por el milagro y así obtienes tu mentalidad milagrosa.
We become the Jujitsu miracle worker. Hiya.
Entonces nos convertimos en el jiu-jitsu de los milagros.
I'm getting my miracle.
Voy a obtener mi milagro.
And I saw that like several times, like you're all over it. Like, I'm getting my miracle on this. It's so beautiful.
Y
It's really
lo veo,
like,
voy a obtener mi milagro.
rocket ship to God. He's on
El
the rocket ship.
cohete a Dios. Ella está en el cohete a Dios.
¿Algo más?
Something else?
Anything else? Anyone want to share or
¿Alguien quiere compartir?
questions about contemplating light?
¿O preguntas acerca de la contemplación de la luz?
Now, some beings will say, well, my mind wanders. Well, that's okay. You just bring it back.
Y hay algunos seres que dicen, mi mente divaga, simplemente la traes de
It's
vuelta.
just, that's how consciousness plays. Remember, he says you're always thinking about, well, nothing, basically.
Y eso es el juego de la
You're not thinking
conciencia,
about-
porque Jesús dice que en verdad no estamos pensando en nada.
Your mind is blank.
Tu mente está en blanco.
But just ask him, Jesus, do I relish an experience of mind wandering? That's humble. That's
Y puedes preguntarle, Jesús, ¿disfruto la experiencia de la divagación mental?
But it's like Ramana Maharshi says, you just bring your mind back. Just go, okay, that was over there, but I want to pay attention over here. Bring your attention back.
Y es como Ramana decía, si la atención está fuera, tráela de vuelta.
The great value of Muji is he said, he calls it natural noticing.
Y lo hermoso de Muji es que él lo llama el darnos cuenta natural.
You just want to naturally notice, hey, what's here before thought? What is that? You know, or read lesson 44 and just spend time with it. Cuddle up.
Porque es simplemente contemplar que esto está ahí y podemos mirarlo con la lección 44.
We spend all this time, you know, notice how consciousness works. It focuses on thoughts and feelings and emotion. It just hones in.
Y ver cómo el juego de la conciencia se focaliza en las emociones, en los pensamientos y en los sentimientos.
Every time the mind does that, it's dreaming. It's going into to dream, and it relishes the feeling of what it gets from it's an addiction. It's like a little cocaine hit on thoughts, feelings,
Entonces, ver la adicción de la conciencia en las emociones es como la cocaína de la conciencia.
It is. You ask Jesus, look, it is. It's a cocaine. It's a cocaine.
Y le puedes preguntar a Jesús, ¿es la cocaína de la conciencia?
I mean, we're trying to, you know, have all these talks about drug addiction. Look, consciousness is one big drug to deny God. You ask Jesus.
Y hemos hablado del tema de la drogadicción, pero la drogadicción, la conciencia es una droga, una adicción.
The biggest crack cocaine in the world is you'll see it. You'll see your little
la más grande cocaína del mundo.
Pain is crack cocaine. Look.
El dolor es una cocaína.
You're going to see it. Look, come to the light circles. You see up here, the ego's going, I was saying it myself, so I can say this.
Say it again?
I was saying this myself, so I can say this.
Yo esto me lo estoy diciendo a mí misma, así que me lo puedo decir.
I was going, oh, I don't want pain. You know, I would never want pain, ever.
Y decimos, no, yo nunca quiero el dolor.
And then you go with Jesus down and you see the crack cocaine for pain down. Oh,
y luego vas con
I love
Jesús
it.
Y ves,
it's humbling.
Es muy humilde darte cuenta que vas ahí con Jesús y lo amas, es la cocaína.
I could see every cell of my being it was a hunter for pain. It's thoroughly.
Y ver con cada célula de mi cuerpo iba en la cacería por el dolor.
I would not have seen that unless Jesus goes, look right here.
Y no lo hubiese dado cuenta si no es que Jesús me dice, mira aquí.
It's informative when you get down there and you see how much you like pain and suffering, and you make giving yourself hell, basically.
Es ir ver ahí que tú mismo te estás dando a ti mismo el infierno.
And relishing blaming God for giving you hell too. Jesus, do I relish blaming God for giving me hell? And you go, oh.
Y culpar a Dios por darme el infierno. Y miremos si disfrutamos de culpar a Dios por darme el infierno.
Okay. But when you see that, you see there's a way out, because you see that need not be, I don't have to choose that experience. Oh, we have David.
Y vemos que tiene mucho poder ahí porque nos damos cuenta que podemos dejar de elegir esa experiencia.
I'm just wondering, whenever we contemplate light,
Solo quería preguntarme que cuando contemplamos la luz.
Now, is that David speaking?
Yeah.
And what was your question? Say it again.
Whenever we contemplate light,
Cada vez que contemplamos la luz,
your eyes are closed, so you're seeing pitch black. Why do we call it light? I don't understand.
Oh,
pero que cuando nosotros cerramos los ojos para contemplar la luz, ¿por qué la llamamos luz si estamos con los ojos cerrados?
David, thanks for that question. It's such a good one.
Gracias por esa pregunta, es una muy buena.
Okay, so this is not a light that you see with the eyes.
Esta no es una luz que tú veas con los ojos.
Okay, but you'll recognize it as light. It's
Pero tú reconoces que es la luz.
It's yep. Ask Jesus if he'll show it to you.
Pregúntale a Jesús si él te la mostraría.
But you have to go naked, like you don't know anything. You don't know anything about light.
Pero entonces tú tienes que ir desnudo, no sabes absolutamente qué es la luz.
You don't know anything about darkness.
Tú no sabes qué es la oscuridad.
Okay, but I can see how even for me, you know, you would hunt for, well, it's people would say, okay, it's brighter than a million suns or something like that. I'm going, well, where's my shot going to be?
Entonces hay gente que dice que es más brillante que 100,000 soles.
I'm waiting for the light fairy.
Entonces
you know?
estoy esperando como mi golpe con esa luz.
But it's really, it's like, I love Muji. It's natural noticing what's before thought. You just kind of notice.
Amo a Muji porque él dice, es un natural darme cuenta.
You may not recognize it as light per se right away. Some recognize it and go, it's void, it's empty, it's vast.
Y algunos lo reconocen por sí mismo esta luz y que es vasta, que es vacío.
And then the ego will go, I'm dying, I'm going into the void. Just ignore that. The ego.
Y el ego va a decir, no, voy a caer en el vacío.
Just find a quiet place and just, because we're so focused on thought, but what's before thought?
Y entonces vamos a un lugar silencioso y preguntamos, ¿qué hay antes del pensamiento?
Mm-hmm. David just said, is it the same as love? Yes, it is, but you can't necessarily get that at first, that it's the same. It's so hidden.
Y David dice que es lo mismo que el amor, pero en un principio tú no te das cuenta de eso. No, está muy escondido.
I remember getting kind of aggravated. It's like, they can get it. Why can't I get it?
¿Cómo así que la puedo obtener? Algo así, como que la puedo lograr.
Because if you just take a quiet moment, pull out lesson 44, close your eyes, and just notice what's before thought.
Y entonces, si tú vas y lees la lección 44 y te sientas y dices, preguntas, ¿qué hay antes del pensamiento?
So, David, can we do that experiment? Will you do that with us?
David, ¿podríamos hacer este experimento con nosotros?
So will you tell us what you noticed before thought?
¿Podrías contarnos qué te das cuenta que hay antes del pensamiento?
Are you talking to me or the other David?
Yeah, oh, good. That's a good question. I'm talking to David, the speaker, right now.
¿Estás hablando con David?
So what do you notice when you just kind of casually, you just notice what's before thought?
Entonces, cuando miras esto casualmente y miras qué hay antes del pensamiento.
I don't know, but I was suffering the other night and I felt like I was hearing Jesus pull me into my mind, and he was saying, come in here. And as I was getting into that spacious awareness that you were talking about, or the light.
Okay. Spacious. So,
just
okay, so go there now. Notice it now. Notice that spacious awareness right now.
But I just wanted to say something else. Because in the midst of my anxiety and my suffering that I was feeling throughout my body, somehow I shifted into the state of love. I shifted from a fear-based thought system into a love-based thought system. And it only lasted a couple minutes. And then I was back in the suffering. It just came back instantly. And I thought he was telling me that it's kind of like changing states, like Neville Goddard teaches, that your dominant vibration or frequency, mine is lower, so I can't maintain that higher frequency love-based thought system yet. So I got to practice it throughout the day. He's got me practicing it every hour or whatever.
So let's go there now and notice it now, David. Awareness.
Vayamos ahora y hagámonos conscientes ahora mismo de esa conciencia que hablas.
Can you notice it now?
¿La puedes notar ahora mismo?
Yeah, the frustrating thing is I haven't been able to get back in that love.
Okay, so just don't judge anything. Just notice it, because we want to explore that a little bit. You want to get to know the light. Okay, so just notice it. Let's talk about what's there. Okay.
For me, I used to, you know how you were talking about Muji saying that, like, you think of yourself as being boundless, not bound to your body, expanse, you know. And so I used to try to expand my boundaries in meditation, so to like the whole room and then maybe to the whole neighborhood. But now when I get into it, I just kind of feel like a whole, I don't really have a boundary, even like the neighborhood. It's just this big expanse, emptiness.
Okay. So it's big and expanse. So let's just explore that. Okay. A little bit, this big expanse. Does it, when you notice it, this natural noticing, does it have a beginning or an end, David?
No.
Okay. It does not have a beginning and end. Okay. Is it born or does it die?
Nope.
It doesn't die. It's so, does it know time?
Nope.
Okay. And it doesn't have a beginning or an end.
No.
Does it move or change?
Nope.
Okay. So how would you know, is it infinite?
I don't know. I mean, what do you mean by that?
Does it go on forever without an end?
I guess.
Well, check in and see. Oh, Maria?
No, I am not translating because you were in there. Okay, I will give a resume.
Okay, just join me now. Just join now. So does it have a beginning or end, David?
Nope.
¿Esto tiene un comienzo, un final?
Does it know time?
No hay tiempo.
That's kind of how I get into it with them questions that you were bringing up.
That's right. That's right. But okay, so what that is you're turning your attention, you're using the power of consciousness, which is focus mechanism, to start to focus back on the light. That is the light that you're noticing. So you're noticing something that is infinite. Does it change? Does it move or change?
No.
Okay, let Maria translate.
Ok, lo que ha pasado aquí es que están haciendo una terapia con David y por eso nos la estamos traduciendo para permitir que se haga el proceso de terapia más pleno. David estaba diciendo que tuvo una experiencia de dolor y cuando estaba en esta experiencia de dolor, entonces llamó, digamos, invocó a Jesús y digamos, de alguna manera tuvo una expansión y que le está mostrando cómo notar esta luz constantemente y darnos cuenta que esta luz no se ve con los ojos, que es una luz que simplemente está aquí.
So you're describing, did you have more, Maria?
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
So you're describing that was very similar. I would get this hit. If you contemplate this light, you can get these hits of infinite love. Okay. You'll get the fruit. That's a fruit of the light itself. It's an.
Cuando contemplas esto, ves los frutos de la luz que te tocan.
But the real power of the miracle is the reason it only lasts for a short time is because consciousness is a focus mechanism to focus away from that to limitation. It functions to point away from toward limitation.
El juego de la conciencia te lleva a ver cosas limitadas, no a ver lo que es ilimitado.
So the way that works is the reason, so it's a habit of the mind to look toward limitation, to look toward hell, to say, look, that light's not true. That's not reality. That's how consciousness works.
Ese es el juego de la conciencia de decir, mira, eso no es real, esto no, esta experiencia no es real.
That's why Jesus calls it the holy instant, because that's about all we'll tolerate of heaven.
Por eso es que Jesús lo llama un instante santo, porque eso es todo lo que toleramos del cielo, un instante.
All right, but celebrate it because you're seeing it, you're noticing there's something infinite. This is not a small thing to notice something that doesn't die.
No es una cosa pequeña darnos cuenta de que hay esta luz infinita que nunca muere.
This is why Muji says you don't know what you found. The big kahuna.
Por eso es que Muji dice, no te has dado cuenta de lo que has encontrado, el Big Kahuna, el gran Kahuna.
Now you can use the contrast between infinite and no death recognition.
Y entonces puedes ya ahora tener el contraste. ¿Ves la luz infinita?
Okay, so is there any pain inside that light when you notice it and you look around in there, or that awareness?
Y si ves algún dolor en esa luz, en esa conciencia, ¿hay algún dolor?
Is that awareness coming to get you? Is it after you?
¿Esa conciencia va a venir a cogerte, a atraparte?
You still talking to me?
Yes.
¿Tú sigues hablando conmigo? No.
It's just there, right? Would you say it's like just there?
Y esa luz siempre está ahí.
Okay. Is there any fear in that light?
¿Hay algún miedo en esa luz?
No, I just felt the love at one point.
Yes. You will feel that more. But in order to have the full fruit, you can have the full fruit of that. Jesus
puedes tener los frutos completos de ver esto.
24/7, you can have the fruit of that light.
Puedes tener los frutos 7/24 de esa luz.
But all the subconscious desires to look away and avoid the light and say the light's coming to get me and not following Jesus, that is turning away from the light.
Y irnos lejos de la luz es decir, no, esta luz me va a atrapar, no voy a seguir a Jesús.
I don't feel like I had that thoughts at all, that it was coming to get me. Do people actually have those thoughts?
Well, yes,
yo siento
they
que
do.
Siento que no tengo ese pensamiento de que la luz venga a atraparme.
You may not have that, but there are some beings that do, that they're very much afraid of that they're going into the void, they're going to lose something. It plays different ways in consciousness.
I guess I was-
Parece que hay algunos seres que sí tienen esta sensación de creer que ir al vacío Dios te va a atrapar o te va a pasar algo.
I think I was more afraid of losing it and going back to the suffering.
Creo que tengo más miedo de volver al sufrimiento.
So that's why this teaching from Jesus is so helpful,
Por eso es que las enseñanzas de Jesús son tan útiles.
because you'll start to see the trick that it's a desired experience to go to suffering, to avoid the light.
Ver que ir a esta experiencia de sufrimiento es una decisión, algo que queremos.
So now you know the solution. There's light, and then there's desire not to be in the light, and you get coached by Jesus. Here's a desire, get a miracle. Here's a desire, get a miracle. Here's a desire. And more of the fruits of the light become your experience.
Y entonces dejar que Jesús te vaya mostrando todos los milagros, así comienzas a tener los más frutos de esta experiencia.
See, you'll be more consistently in that state of love, joy, because there's no longer a desire for something other than that.
Y ver que llega un punto donde no hay más deseos que eso, la luz.
But you have Jesus and you hear Jesus.
Pero tú escuchas a Jesús.
Occasionally, not very often.
Ocasionalmente, no muy constantemente.
Just keep working with him to hear his voice and let him point out all the plays in consciousness to avoid the recognition of light. That's all.
Mantente trabajando con él, escuchándolo para que él te muestre dónde están estas evasiones.
At first, it seems really difficult to believe, can I really be doing this suffering to myself?
En un principio es muy difícil de creer que nos estemos haciendo esto a nosotros mismos, generándonos este sufrimiento.
But like when that detonates in the heart, you go, holy smokes, I have been doing this to myself. You're going to be so ridiculously happy.
Pero cuando esto detona en tu corazón y te das cuenta que esto te lo estás haciendo a ti mismo, vas a ser ridículamente feliz.
You know, because that's when the course really detonates and you go, this need not be, and I can choose again. I'm getting my miracle.
Y ahí es donde el curso detona y dices, esto no tiene por qué ser así, y obtienes y te vas por tu milagro.
So we're grateful to have you as a mighty, David. We're going to heaven. That's it.
Es muy grato tenerte a ti como compañero y vamos al cielo.
But you'll see more and more your power to choose miracles.
Pero ves cada vez más que tienes el poder de elegir los milagros.
But that's a great step to have recognized that light. Just get to know that, you know, just,
Es
you know,
un
get
gran
to know
paso
it.
reconocer que esta luz.
Like Muji said, you got to reacclimate to the light. It seems insane, but it's true.
Y como dice Muji, vas a reclamar esta luz. Y esa es mi experiencia.
I'll ask you, Jesus, is that right?
¿Eso es cierto?
I hear
Jesús?
yes.
Y escucho sí.
That was my experience.
Esa fue mi experiencia.
There's so many concepts about God and the light and about Jesus, and that's the biggest awakening of all.
Hay muchos conceptos acerca de Jesús, de la luz, y eso no sirve para nada.
Just keep contemplating that light. You'll get some more little juicy love hits from that. It's like, it's good. It's a happy drug.
Y luego comienzas a contemplar esta luz y comienzas a sentir lo jugoso de esto y ver que es una droga feliz.
But Jesus's point about it is you deserve that 24/7 is given to you by your Father.
Pero él va más allá y dice, Jesús dice, esto te lo mereces 7/24 porque está dado por el Padre.
You know, the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind when all the desires are cleared out.
El brillo de... Say again?
The eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
El resplandor de la mente sana.
Meaning when all the belief in sin, and which is error of thought, has been purified from the subconscious mind.
Lo que significa es que todos estos deseos subconscientes son purificados de la mente
Through miracles.
a través de milagros.
You just keep
Milagros.
accepting love instead of denying love. I accept that. I'm no longer denying myself divinity. I'm get my miracle, 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 miracle. And then you just have a more consistent experience of love.
Y es aceptar los milagros y así tener una experiencia más consistente del amor.
So just keep joining.
Así que sigue te uniendo.
Thank you, David.
Gracias, David.
Algo más? Anything else? It's so valuable to have the contrast between the recognition of that light.
Es muy útil tener este contraste entre el reconocimiento de la luz
And then the contrast between that and every twitch in consciousness that says no to it.
y ver el contraste de todos los switches que tenemos para decir no a esta luz.
Thank you, Jesus.
Gracias,
Thank you,
Jesús.
beloveds.
Gracias, amados.
Bringing your light here, a reminder that we're all holy, whole, and complete.
Este recordatorio de que somos sanos, santos y completos.